When Warner and Smith come back into that side, will he be able to just go into the ranks now as a player, Smith, or will people still look at him as the captain who had it taken away from him? I still couldn't pick their squad for the World Cup. I think there's so many players. As long as the selectors narrow it down and get the right players in the right position, I think they could be very, very strong, Australia. And I think they'll be up for a World Cup. This is the moment Australia can get back on the map.
England, three-time finalists, three-time runners-up, the last of those finals coming in 1992. Fast forward 27 years and England are the form team going into the ICC Cricket World Cup 2019. As of April this year, they have won 6 of their last 7 ODI series, with a 2-2 draw against the resurgent West Indies, the only blemish on the record book.
This England one-day side is, for me, the favourites for a reason. Yeah, they've got every department covered. Bat ball, the field well, explosive at the top of the order, middle order, has got quick runs in them, and they seem to have a winning formula and a winning mentality in one-day cricket.
England over the last 2 years have been playing an attacking brand of cricket, with power running through the side.
I think the difference between playing one-day cricket in the last 2 years as opposed to the 3 previous years is England have got clear clarity in roles from who's going to bat where, how they're going to bat and what the game plan is. And I think because of that, that's why England, for me, are undoubtedly favourites. They've got 2 men at the top who know that they go hard at the ball. They've got somebody to bat all round in Joe Root, and the team can bat around them. They've got a middle order who in Stokes and Butler can fit in anywhere. And the bowling attack is predominantly done by people who just play white ball cricket. So for me, that's why they're an all-round good side, and that's why they're a different side from 2015.
England scored an ODI record 481 runs against Australia at Trent Bridge last summer as their batting hit new heights. But do they have the bowling to match?
Where they'll have to be good again is taking wickets up front, taking wickets through the middle, and I think that's where Adil Rashid plays a big part. Because we're seeing these days as well with batters, if you don't take wickets through the middle and you go into the last 10 overs and you're only 2 or 3 down, you're going to go for a lot of runs regardless of how good your death bowling is. So taking those wickets through the middle period is going to be crucial.
Spinner Adil Rashid has become a vital part of the attack, and England will need him to play well if they're to mount a serious challenge.
That leaves Wood, Willie, Plunkett especially as their mainstays, and the leader of the pack for me in English conditions will probably be Woakes. So I think England will bowl round Woakes, and I think it'll be interesting at the batting if England can get off a good start in the first 10, and that's how potentially in the latter stages that'll be the difference between potentially winning the World Cup or maybe just coming up short.
With their bowling lineup looking pretty settled, getting the right balance with the bat will be crucial.
I think we've got a blend now of a lot of power. We have a lot of class as well with Joe Root. We've got a long batting lineup, which is what you need as well. I saw the other day Liam Plunkett come in at number 10. I mean, that's incredible.
England appear to have ticked all the right boxes in the build-up, but will it be their year?
Looking at the way that this has been built up towards the World Cup, I think it's probably the best running that I can remember in my time, and probably for a long time. That we're building a squad of 15, 16 players who have played a lot of cricket together. We're going to have a lot of, even the guys that are going to be on the sidelines and don't get selected will have a lot of caps, a lot of experience. So if there's an injury, you're calling on guys who've been there and done it.
England have the experience, they're playing well. The only unknown will be how they handle the undoubted pressure that will be on them as hosts.
I think, again, the pressure is on England to win the World Cup because it's in their own back garden, but they'll need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's there. I think anytime you play for England in any format, there's always pressure. So I think the guys will be used to dealing with pressure. I think when you get to the back end of a tournament and it's must-win games, with a little bit of luck, hopefully, as well, you need that through a tournament that we can go all the way and win our first 50-over trophy. But I think so far, like I said, from the last couple of years and the lead-up and the way that they're building the squad to the ability that there's in the dressing room, then hopefully there's a great opportunity for England to win the first 50-over World Cup.
Sri Lanka, a side with a rich history at the ICC Cricket World Cup, unfancied winners in 1996 and beaten finalists twice in a row at the 2007 and 2011 events. The last 4 years have not been easy for Sri Lanka. They've struggled to replace retired legends. Senior players have been plagued by injury, and they've had various off-field issues to contend with, as well as poor form.
Well, back in the day, Sri Lanka set the trend in terms of power hitting. Kalu and Jayasuriya at the top of the order changed one-day cricket forever. Now everyone, of course, has caught up. And it was interesting in the England-Sri Lanka ODI series in Sri Lanka that they were talking about batting the full 50 overs, just trying to put a score on the board. Now, I don't think that is going to remotely work in the World Cup in the United Kingdom if the pitches are good. They're going to have to somehow try and find scores of 330, 350, maybe even into 360. And their mentality at the moment seems to be to try and just build an innings, and I don't think that's going to work.
With scores of 300 plus becoming normal in modern ODI cricket, do Sri Lanka have enough bowling depth to cover a weakened batting lineup?
Well, they should have spin that can change the game in the middle overs. You think of Dhananjaya De Silva, he's a very good all-round cricketer, full stop. The challenge, I think, is going to be with the bat, getting enough runs on the board, but they will be looking to the senior guys. Angelo Matthews, providing he can stay fit. Kusal Mendes is a very talented young player, as is Pereira, who scored 100 against New Zealand. But for me, their strengths are in their spin bowling, and they will need the pitches to be dry.
Angelo Matthews' injury issues, changes to captaincy and inconsistent selection seems to have hurt Sri Lanka, who still look to be struggling to find reliability at the top of the order.
In terms of relying on the top order, it will be the senior guys, it will be the captain and Angelo Matthews. But again, it's the consistency that they'll be searching for, the consistency of getting past 300. If they do that, and the pitches are dry-ish, and the spinners can come into the game, then they've got a chance.
Sri Lanka played some good cricket during the 2017 ICC Champions Trophy, but their form line suggests they will be outsiders this time.
It's an ICC event, it's not winning bilateral series, it can be a one-off game. And there is talent there, no question, and on any given day they could turn it on and turn over any side they're playing against. But they will not really be going into this World Cup with any confidence from a long period of playing good one-day cricket.
Sri Lanka have lost 9 of the last 10 ODI series they've played, with the most recent of those being a 5-0 loss in South Africa.
I think the problem Sri Lanka have had is that they lost 3-1 to England at home in their conditions. They've lost 3-0 to New Zealand in their conditions, so they're not doing either conditions very well. And if you think England is probably going to be somewhere in the middle. The seamers, they got some young seamers like Rajita. He's young, inexperienced, but has got some potential, but he's going into a World Cup, so that's not really ideal when you haven't got a settled side. Malinga is obviously got a lot of cricket behind him and not much left in front of him. Is he capable of performing throughout the World Cup? That's tenuous at best with the injuries he's had and the age he's had. And there's a lot going on around Sri Lankan cricket. Can they push all of the exterior stuff out of the dressing room and focus on a collective goal? They've got a proud record in ICC events, but they just don't seem to have the consistency, the star quality to maintain a campaign throughout a World Cup to then go on and win it.
Few teams conjure World Cup memories like the West Indies. Winner of the first 2 events, but since those early days, they've struggled to capture past glories. Having fallen out of the world's top 8 ODI sides, the West Indies had to qualify for their place at the World Cup for the first time. A recent drawn series with England suggests they could still pose a threat in this tournament.
Well, West Indies will bring firepower. Let's look at a World Cup, and the days have gone when it was 250 and we're in the game. You know, you want 350 minimum. From everything that I've seen, I'd be very excited if I was a West Indies supporter. They got the tools. It's coming at the right time, this World Cup. Yes, they were in the doldrums, they were losing to everybody, but the younger players from the under-19s are emerging. They're getting better and better with experience. Put your experienced players in amongst them, and I'd expect those experienced players to be leaders. I'd be very excited as a West Indies supporter. I just think this competition, the World Cup 2019, is coming just at the right time.
West Indies will win the World Cup. And I believe because of the new sensation, Hetty Chris Gayle retiring after the World Cup, I know the Universe boss want to leave with a bang. And I just have a strong feeling. It's been 40 years since we last won the World Cup. And I'm a biblical man. 40, the number 40 comes up a lot of times in the Bible. So, yeah, I think it's our time to rise up.
With senior players returning to bolster the squad, confidence is high. And any side containing an informed Chris Gayle is dangerous in the one-day format. Having announced this to be his last World Cup, he might be more focused than ever before.
It's a joy to watch. Look, I've played most of my games with Chris Gayle. You know, I've enjoyed watching him. The thing about Chris Gayle, when he's in that sort of form, it sends a very positive message in the dressing room. So the next batsman coming in goes in a positive frame of mind.
West Indies certainly contain the batting firepower to win the World Cup. How does the bowling department compare?
We need bowlers who could take wickets. You know, I think man for man, the batting lineup is really good. I'm foreseeing Lewis, Gayle, you know, Bravo, Hope, Hetty Jason Holder, Russell. You know, when you call out those names, it tells you there is something there. Once we play to our potential, but the key is to have those bowlers that could take wickets in England. And Sheldon Cottrell, you know, with the new ball. Even Jason Holder up front, I think he could use the new ball. But if it's something we will need, is that quality depth bowling. And Dwayne Bravo did that for us for a number of years. But we need to find that person or two bowlers who could bowl in the last 10 overs when the pressure is really on.
I think West Indies will be clever. Thomas is a big, fast bowler, got great pace. Kemar Roach is 30 years of age and he's got so much experience. Jason Holder, a genuine all-rounder. I think they've got everything covered. From what I've seen recently of the West Indies, they are supremely fit and strong. They've got everything that you need to win this World Cup. You know, we know that England are favourites. India are a fabulous team. South Africa are always round about. But West Indies, World T20 champions and an emerging team. And I reckon that this World Cup is coming just at the right time for the West Indies.
Champions.
Dajay, Dilena Asipata
සිතට නව පනක් ඒවි ඔබට
මෙත් අනන්තයක් දකිනා අපේ සිහිනය පාර කියාවී ජය ගන්නට පැතුම අපේ
කාලය පැමිණ තිබේ
පෙන්වන්නට තරම අපේ
දිලනා අසිපත ගන්න ඔබේ සිතට නව පනක් ඒවි ඔබට
අනන්තයක් දකිනා අපේ සිහිනය පාර කියාවී ජය ගන්නට පැතුම අපේ
කාලය පැමිණ තිබේ
පෙන්වන්නට තරම අපේ ජය ගන්නට පැතුම අපේ
The ICC Cricket World Cup 2019